What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Scalp Solutions Podcast. I am your host, David Santiago, and today I have with me my brother, Ivan Alvarado. Ivan, what's up, brother?
Hey, man, how's it going, man? Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited, a little bit nervous, but hey, it's a blessing being here. And thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for your time.
Of course, my brother. Thank you for taking time, from your busy schedule. We actually just left each other last week. I had the honor and the pleasure of shadowing you. I was shadowing you. It's funny because you're saying that you're nervous, but here I am. I was shadowing you. As some of you may know, I just became a member of Leaders Academy, and Ivan had a training available, and he opened up his doors to me to show me the leader's way, which he did an amazing job. And I got to hang out with him for 3 days. Stand-up dude. And I wanted to have him on the podcast. Well, now I'm talking in third person, but I wanted to have you on the podcast, man, because you have such a wealth of knowledge, whether it's from SMP marketing and just like all these crazy tools. And if any of you guys were at the SMP Expo, you know what I'm talking about, because he got on stage and he started talking about mock-ups and people were looking like, what the hell was this? This is crazy. This guy is like a beast when it comes to marketing and just captures SMP in general all around. So Ivan, thank you for tuning in, brother. So we're going to get right to it, man. Let the audience know the name of your location and where you're from.
Sure. So what's up, everybody? My name is Ivan Alvarado. I live here in Austin, Texas. We do have a location here for the Picasso Scalp Micropigmentation brand. I'm under Jeff. I'm a pro artist for his clinic when it comes down to scalp micropigmentation. I also have a business for microblading with my wife called Mili's Beauty Studio, again, here in Austin, Texas. I'm originally from Mexico. I came here to the US when I was 9 years old. Again, born in Mexico. I grew up in Chicago. It was a city called Rockford, Illinois, about an hour from Chicago. I moved here to Texas about 6 years ago. So I've been here for a minute.
6 years ago, you went from the mean streets of Chicago to the nice, beautiful, quiet Texas, Austin, Texas, huh? Was it a big transition for you?
It was a little bit tough at the beginning, just leaving everything, all my friends, family. We came here not knowing anybody. We just left, my wife and my daughter, and we're here. We planted our flag and we're like, we're not going back to
making
it
happen.
North. Yeah.
Making it happen. So Ivan, how long have you been in the SMP industry?
So we opened up our business in late 2018. So a little bit over 3 years. I took my initial training in 2019, April. I took a 2-day course and I actually flew out to Brooklyn to take my fundamentals training.
Got you. And now what were you doing prior to becoming an SMP artist?
Yeah, so before coming on SMP artist, I actually had 2 jobs. I had a full-time job at Apple as a tech consultant, customer service and tech support. And I was a part-time sales rep at a store for T-Mobile. The reason why I had 2 jobs was because before that I was assistant manager for AT&T. I had a really good job with them. Something happened that ended up leaving AT&T, and I had well established with them. I had won pretty much all the awards, recognition that you can think of for like top sales, not only locally but nationwide. And I got awards, trips, all of that with them. And something happened that I ended up leaving with them, and the amount of money that I was making, it was not the same. So that's why I had 2 jobs. I was working from 9 in the morning, and I would come to home till 11:30, and that's where my wife told me about microblading, and she had already mentioned microblading in the past, but I just really never paid attention to it until I was like, you know what? Let me look into it. And we both looked at different options for her to take her course. And the reason why I got in the industry was because I have a little bit more knowledge with, technology and things like that. The idea for the business was me helping my wife do everything related with the website, the marketing, the graphics, etc. However, the more I got into like researching and starting following all these PMU artists, I got interested and I started to develop some kind of like interest. It wasn't until I heard a interview where they mentioned there was a couple, woman and the husband, that he left his construction work to do brows. And that's where I'm like, you know what? Is that even a thing? Is like really guys doing,
That's a market.
brows?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started looking into it, and my wife was almost done with her microblading course. And I told her, you know what? I want to do this as well. Can you show me how you're doing your patterns, your strokes? So for about 2 days, I was there, trying to do it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. It's too hard. It's too hard. And I already had the idea to do brows first and then do SMP, because I found about SMP, obviously following all these artists on Instagram and Facebook, etc. So then I told her, you know what? I'm not gonna do brows. I'm actually gonna do scalp first. And that's when I booked my initial training.
Got you. So now let me ask you, because you do have scalp micropigmentation done to yourself first, on you, right? Now,
Correct.
did you find out about SMP first, become artist, and then get SMP, or did you get SMP done on yourself and then transition into an artist?
Right. So when I got SMP done, that was before I started doing SMP myself. I had thinning hair in the back. If people look up my photos in the beginning of my Instagram, you guys can see, I had, long hair. And the reason why I left my hair a little bit long was for two reasons: to kind of conceal, those bald spots, the thinning spots that I had here in the middle and the back.
Right.
And obviously because I had a bad procedure done on me. And I knew it was bad, but I didn't know how bad it was until I bust my hair. And the thing is, like, I would cut my hair kind of just like the sides myself. And then I went a little bit high one side one day. And I was like, you know what the hell? Let me just buzz it. Then I looked at the mirror and I was like, wow, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know how bad it was. And I didn't mind, going through the whole laser removal, because I had already talked to them and they told me in order for me to do a laser removal, I needed to bust my hair down anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's been about a year a process for me to get that removed and had, a good SMP done. And obviously I had amazing friends in the industry now that were able to help me out, get where I'm at with my SMP. I had Jeff worked on it. I had Masood worked on it. I had Save work on it at the expo. I had Candace do a little bit of removal from Undo. I had D Black work on my hairline a little bit, and just you recently did a little bit of removal on some spots, and you blended some of the bad SMP, and I believe I just need one more.
I think that's
one
it,
more, and then we should be good.
And you'll
but
be
no, it's been a journey for me, and I didn't mind doing it because like I knew that if I got it done and if I documented everything, which I am, it'll help number one artists that are starting out learning, or maybe some people that already been in the industry that they don't understand the difference between density work and regular SMP, and the students, because we are doing trainings now under leaders, and I always wait until like the second day when they understand a little bit more about the theory, and then I tell them about my story, and they are fully aware a little bit more on making the decision when doing regular SMP and the density work.
So I can only imagine that you now, as a trainer, you understand just how important it is that the information that you pass along to your students is 100% like it's accurate. Like you now know and you're proof. Unfortunately, you had to undergo a
It's not
bad
just theory
audience.
for me. It's more than just theory. It's my personal experience. And when I do consultations, I tell them about what I went through. I tell them about my story. I show them the before, and then they see it on myself. And then they take a better decision when deciding if they want to buzz their hair or if they want to do a density.
Yeah. So
And then also I'm more mindful when I'm doing the procedure, because I want to make sure that every single impression, there's a purpose behind that single impression that I do, because I don't want anybody to go through the same process that I went through. Because honestly, that laser, it's it's painful. It's very
painful.
painful.
It's painful
It
as
took me
hell.
it took me that long, because like they were recommending about 6 weeks in between each session, but I was procrastinating and I just didn't want to go because it hurts.
It's painful. I got
It
just a
hurts.
little bit. I didn't need it. I just wanted to feel. I just wanted to understand what it felt like, so that when I explained it to someone who came in here with a
How
box
can how can you describe the feel?
oh man, I mean, I want to not be. You know what? I'm gonna. Oh Jesus! All right. So for a man, all right, for a man, it felt like someone plucked me on the tip of my penis. Yeah.
What I can
Like
describe it is
repeatedly, like me standing there like this, right? Someone holding me and then just allowing someone to take a rubber band right to the very tip of my, my joint, my junk, and like that. That's what that felt like to me. It was excruciating.
for me. What I can I would picture in my head like a flamethrower in my skull. It's like it was like,
Yeah,
man, like two
it's
three
bad.
seconds they had to stop and put the ice pack, because man, that was so painful.
No, it's not
Yeah.
something you want to experience. So I wanted to lead into like, how has it been for you as an artist? Because in such a short amount of time, you've been able to accomplish so much. But I could only imagine that your experience as an SMP client and having a botched job is what has helped you understand the industry and the whole concept behind the art of SMP more. And it's kind of like it served its purpose, because
Of course.
it's why you're as successful as you are now. But I want you to elaborate. How has your experience been? How has it been for you in the industry?
Yeah, like I said, part of the reason why I wanted to get it done and document everything is because I wanted to make sure that um, when I do relay that information over to my potential customers and the students, they fully understand. And hopefully when I release all this information, other artists can take advantage of my mistake, um, and understand the reason behind that. Not only that personal experience, but also I have really good mentors. I have Jeff, Picasso Jeff it's one of my good friends, business partner, and mentor, as well as Masood. And I have really
Shout
good
out to
friends all
Jeff and
over.
Masood.
Yeah, all over. Tony, obviously and other people that I talk to all the time on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on the forums. I'm very lucky to have met amazing artists. Uh,
Yeah, for sure, man. And let's talk about leaders, man. Like, how is it being, not even how is it, man? How was it receiving that call? I don't know if you got it from Jeff or if it was Masood that hit you up and
mhm.
pitched to you, being part of the team. How was that for you?
So how I became a training with leaders was a process as well, because like I said, I went to take my fundamentals training, and I was struggling for several reasons. Number one, I mean, this business divides into the business side of things and the technique itself. Obviously, I was struggling on both. The beginning for me was mainly that technique and the tools that I was using. I was giving tools that I found out were not the best to use for SMP.
Right.
Um, a PMU machine with a single needle. That's what I was using. And I only did 2 of my clients. And they would come back second session, third session. I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong? Like
It was gone.
it's gone. And I was, I was getting scared. I was getting nervous because there was a lot of time invested. And, I was scared for them as well. Cause like, I don't know if I was me or it was the tools. So
Right.
after that, I changed my tools and, I started doing a little bit better. How I got a hold of Jeff was later on. So part of me having that struggle is because I didn't have a lot of clients. I didn't have a portfolio. I didn't have a lot of models. I moved to Texas, like I mentioned, not knowing anybody, no family members, no friends for me for them to help me be models, etc. So when I would put it online, free or whatever, like people didn't take it serious, online on forums, etc. So it was hard for me to just get my first model.
Got you.
So how I overcame that was with doing SMP Photo Mock-ups. When I would get somebody interested, I would be like, you know what? Let me do a before and after with different hairlines so you visually see how SMP could look on you. And that is what helped me get a little bit more clients and get more people booked.
Gotcha. And that's what essentially got the attention.
So I showed a couple of people because I would see people on the forums and, people sharing their knowledge, people being helpful. And there was one person that reached out to me, or I saw that she was actually getting, it was a female. She was actually getting, she needed help with the mock-ups. And I just reached out and, I pretty much showed her the SMP mock-up and how to do it. And she was like, well, why don't you come up with a course or a mock-up and a mock-up course or something like that? I'm like, nah, like, I don't want to sell this. So what I ended up doing during COVID, in the lockdown, obviously nobody was taking clients. And,
Right.
and I saw a lot of people sharing a lot of good knowledge on those forums. So what ended up happening, I actually did the course and I posted up for free. 100% free, and I gave it to everybody. The only thing I was asking, it was like, just follow me on Instagram. That's it.
I remember that.
That's all I was asking people to do it. So I remember for 3 or 4 days, people were hitting me up, and I was every day texting back and forth, helping these people. I'm like, this is how you do it. After they had already watched the video, and it just became too much. I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting anything from this. At the end of the day, people didn't even actually do it, because I remember I talked to everybody, and then they're like, well, there was only like 2 or 3 people that saved the files that I sent them out. I'm like, okay, you know what? That's when I got introduced to Jeff. And then that's how our relationship started, because I recreated the mock-up, obviously using better work. Every single mock-up that you see is actually legit, 100% real SMP work done by Jeff, Masood, and other members from Leaders. And we released that. And before I released the mock-ups, I know there was maybe 2 or 3 clinics in the world using mock-ups for their clients. Right. And maybe a few artists doing mock-ups for other artists on Photoshop. And Photoshop is honestly not something simple. It's something that it's not simple to use. Not the average person is going to understand how to use it.
Yeah, it's not very intuitive.
So what made my difference was that anybody could just grab their phone, take a picture, and do it right there and then from their phone in under 5 minutes. and I'm always trying to find little ways to improve it and make it a little bit different, and keep continuing to improve it and support other people that have already taken that course.
Got you. And you know, I had wanted to harp on the hairline mock-up program a little more down the line, but we can touch on that now, right? So essentially you create this application, right? Because it's not an app, but a course, and you end up you leverage that to get attention to some key players, one of those key players being Picasso. You guys link up, form a sponsor, not a sponsorship, a partnership. He's just how valuable you could be, and
Right.
you guys go on to be successful partners. Hence,
Yeah. So that was my first project for the industry. And when I first started, I mean, I had a lot of things in my head that I would visualize that what I could do, that what I wanted to do, and the mock-up was one of them. After that, I did a lot of stuff behind the scenes for a lot of artists, and a lot of like SMP brands, and then it was time for me to get better. So Jeff is from Chicago. If anybody, if somebody doesn't know, so he used to live about maybe an hour from where I used to live. So my mom still lives over there in Illinois, and I told him, hey, you know, I want to go and shadow you because I want to be better. So I shadowed him for about 3 days in his Chicago location. After that, I went to his LA location to help him do an SMP training / I was actually learning as well. I was learning a lot more than helping.
got you.
So that's when, you know, I started having more conversations about some of the vision that I had for leaders. And that's how I became not leaders at that point, but me and Jeff ended up opening actually opening a location here in Austin before I became a leaders trainer. I had to do a little bit more shadowing and learning a little bit more about how they teach. So it wasn't just like a one-time thing or a month. It's been.
You had to earn your stripes.
It's been a time. Yeah, of course.
You had to earn your stripes, of course. So now let me ask you something, Ivan. With your come up, and everything you've been exposed to, you know, you have access to a lot of key players in the industry. Talk to me about what has been your biggest failure, and what did you learn from that experience? Or just an experience overall with
I feel like I'm not gonna take it as a failure because, like I already explained, pretty much doing the procedure, you know, the bad procedure, not doing enough research and not understanding before getting it done. And as far as the my fundamentals was a good training. However, I found out later on all those different things eventually that if I would have taken a little bit more time to research, I would have had wasted some of my time and some of that investment that I did in the beginning. However, I don't take it as a failure because I learned from that as well. So honestly, I don't see it as a failure either or. Like I said, the SMP by SMP, it's going to be good for a lot of people that might actually help out. So I see it both ways, good and bad.
That's a great mindset, man. I appreciate that. Now, let me ask you, you got access to a lot of amazing artists. You've done a lot of behind the scenes work for a lot of artists. You're very humble. You don't seek the attention and it's like, oh, give me my props for this. You all about helping. That being said, name one artist that you would still like to learn some SMP tips, tricks, or just the way they work, you know, their flow. One artist. Do you have one?
You know what? I have, like I said, I'm lucky to have amazing mentors. Jeff, Masood, Tony, you, that I've learned so much from, and I'm going to continue learning, and I'm still continue learning. But one person that told me several times that he would have me go to Korea and learn from him, which is D Black. He told me at the expo, hey, come to Korea. I'll teach you. You'll learn from me. His technique is a little bit different than the regular SMP. His technique is called ASMP, and they use a little bit different of a technique, and he has his own technique and machine that I would at least would want to learn.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
And see, what the big difference and how we can bring that here. Because I know he did a masterclass at the expo, but I have still not seen anybody do anything with that from the people that were there. So,
gotcha. Yeah, that'll be a nice trip too. Korea is a beautiful, beautiful country. Depends on which side you go to. So if you could change anything in the industry, Ivan, what would it be?
Man, I mean, you ask this question every time on your podcast, and everybody pretty much, I would say 90% of the people tell you the same thing. However, nobody tells you a solution for that. We are doing something a little bit different with leaders, which is holding our trainers accountable, each student that they have, to make sure that they continue giving them support and to give our students a reason why to continue to have positive work, because now we have a better system. So that would be one. I would like to see some of the other academies do a little bit better when it comes down to just following up with their own students. I mean, I understand, a lot of people might have a lot of students that might not have the time, but I feel like if they have a better system, it can help everybody, not only for them, but as an industry as a whole, because that's, we get messages all the time about stuff like that. I went to so-and-so and so-and-so academy, and I don't even know how to mix my pigment. Just very simple. And you see this all the time when you scroll through the Facebook groups, super basic questions. And that's one of the things that I would like to,
have the trainers be held a little more, have a little more accountability.
And also, just like everybody says that you bring on is like people that take a 1 or 2, 3 day training, and they want to start training 2-3 days later or months later when they don't have enough experience. I feel like there should be some kind of committee or something for SMP that is not only some regulations, but among us. We don't want an outside entity regulating us, but we can somehow regulate us. If it's like the people that have been doing this for a long time, or established bigger academies that are well known, have I don't know, some kind of like a vote saying, you know what, somebody wants to start training, or there's a new academy, let's look at the curriculum to make sure they're covering this and that, and a stamp of approval, something, and then somebody has to do something. Otherwise, somebody's gonna fuck somebody up big time. Somebody may be famous that is gonna destroy what we're doing. Yeah.
No, I agree. And last week I remember showing you, I was a conversation I was having on Instagram with one particular SMP artist who has invested well over $10,000 in training. Mm-hmm. And you saw the conversation I was having with her. Like they didn't even show them how to dilute the pigments, like mm-hmm. at all. And which is it's a basic 101 and it's not being incorporated. So yeah, it's out there, and I understand why I agree. I wouldn't want an outside entity regulating us. I think it should be done amongst us so that the industry can be held more accountable. But we'll see as the industry progresses and evolves, maybe that will happen. That being said, you've done a lot in 2-3 years. and you've also been part of some of the evolution within the industry, again, with your hairline mocking. That was incredibly, like, intuitive and innovative. What would you like to see the industry be in another 5 years?
How, you know, how I see it in the next 5 years is it's a lot more people evolving and getting better, getting better work, just like it has for the past decade or so. There's always people coming up with new techniques, right? As long as we all stay humble and are able to evolve and learn new techniques, I think we can all live this industry higher as a whole. And I know there's a lot of people that have been doing SMP for a long time, and maybe they think they know it all and they don't want to learn, they don't want to evolve. But if you don't,
You're
we're
left
just gonna be
behind.
stuck. We're gonna be left behind, or we're gonna be
You're left
stuck.
behind, and we're gonna run laps around you. Now, so
Mm.
he's like, yeah, I know you want.
Oh.
I know you're a very humble guy. I say joking around. People hear me. They know my personality. Sometimes I say some random stuff, but I don't mean it. You spoke earlier on about having shitty tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what can happen if you don't have the right tools. Let's talk about the tools that you use. What kind of machine you use, and what kind of needles are you using?
Yeah, so right now what I'm using the Cheyenne Spirit. I'm using FYT needles, the pink needles. And also I'm using Ghost. I'm a Ghost ambassador, so I'm using Ghost. But just because I'm Ghost or just because I'm FYT doesn't mean that I have tried the other brands and I don't use them. The other pigment that I use sometimes is Pigmenta from Tony. And it's a good pigment, a Ghost, and FYT are my main tools that I use every day.
Got you. And you said, I know I was giving you crap about your machine, because when a lot of us, an entry level machine, and I don't want to say it's an entry level machine. I should take that back. It's just at the time when, the training, this was the only machine that they were pretty much pushing out, was the Cheyenne, the Spirit. So when I saw you using it, I was like, bro, like, what are you doing, man? Like, step your game up, get a wireless freaking machine. But I get it. That's what you're comfortable with. That's what you create your amazing work with. But I couldn't help.
I've tried the Flux, and I want to try the one that you have, the Nova Unlimited. But I feel like the Flux, we do offer it on our kits, but it's just the diameter is just too much. It's just too thick.
Got you. So then you're probably gonna feel like that about the Cheyenne, the Soul Nova. I have the wired one. I can send you the wired one so you could try it out to see what it feels like.
This is what I'm scared of, is the stroke. The stroke on those are 4.0, and the Spirit is 2.5. So that's another thing that I guess it'll take me a minute to get used to, and my pressure and all of that.
Got you. All right. So now you also spoke about your background. You are incredibly tech savvy. When I was with you training last week, you shared your phone screen to the students, and you have apps galore. So now, for the most part, a lot of our listeners for in this podcast are, up and coming artists, but we do have some seasoned artists that don't, that not as tech savvy. That being said, can you tell us what apps we should be having, that standard that we should be having, that's going to help us with our daily workflow as SMP artists?
So the main tools, obviously, that we use is we all live on social media, right? So you got to make sure that you have your social media. So make sure that you have a business Instagram and a business Facebook account. If you ever want to run Facebook ads, you need a business account. In order for you to have a business account, you got to make sure that you have a good representation of your branding. So the logo is number one. It's very important. The colors of your logos or your website and things like that are very important. Obviously, having a nice professional website is going to help you. Set up a Google My Business, set up a Yelp account. Make sure that you select a good domain that has some nice keywords for the URL, and maybe your name with your location. That's going to help you out.
What about apps for like
Apps itself?
photos
Yeah.
or collages or editing?
Yeah. So the apps that I use is to do a side-by-side is an app called Moldiv. It's a nice collage app. Snapseed, it's another nice app for you to edit your photos. What else do I use? I use the apps that I use for the mock-ups every day when I do consultations.
There was one that you used that you did a collage in. What app is that?
Moldiv.
That's
Moldiv.
MOTI.
MOLVID. Moldiv.
Oh, got you.
Moldiv.
Got you. Understood. And now I want to circle back to your mock-up, because we didn't discuss where anyone could get it if they wanted to purchase it. How much does it cost? What does it come with? Any kind of support, et cetera, et cetera. Can you touch on that, please?
Yeah, so the mock-up, it's 175 or 170, I believe, on the leaderssmp.com website. It's under the online training tab. It's available now, and then we actually just did an update where I showed everybody at the expo how to do the before and after, and how to take the photo and make it into a 3D photo. So that's something new that we just did with this update.
That was game changing.
And then we're coming up with that one as well in Spanish, because nobody has a Spanish version. So I already have everything ready for the Spanish version to launch shortly.
So you're also going to be launching. So let me get it right. We have the English version, but you're also going to be launching a Spanish version of the hairline mock-up.
Correct.
You know what? That's actually great that you mentioned that, because that leads us into another topic, a presentation that me and you have discussed for quite some time. So I kind of wanted to have this interview serve as a special announcement within the podcast industry. If you could, Ivan, let the listeners, the viewers, know exactly what that project is.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, it's something that me and you have been talking for quite some time. And I feel like this would be the right time to do it because how we are doing the SMP Expo in English and Spanish in Tulum. So this is the perfect timing for us to be able to connect to more of our audience, expand the podcast to our Spanish audience, Hispanic, Latino audience. So me and David are going to be able to do this for the Spanish community. So Scalp Solutions Latino edition, which I am going to be hosting. And I'm super excited and very humble for being able to do this, and for having you giving me the opportunity to do it. And I'm super excited to get this going, man, for sure.
Yeah, man, I'm excited listening to you talk about it. Like, I'm already getting like the heebie-jeebies, man. We spoke behind the scenes. You're outstanding candidate for it. You being a Mexicano, me being a Puerto Riqueño, and we knew what we were lacking in our community, and we also understood how much the other artists, Latino, Hispanic artists that are out there that are absolutely amazing, but not too many people in America, our land, know about. And we felt like, these, if we have a platform where we could give, the flowers to our people, we wanted to really capitalize off that. The expo taking place in Mexico has opened up a lot of opportunities. You've been collaborating behind the scenes with some key players, Latinos, and I felt like it was only right that we make this happen. And you're going to be spearheading this, yourself. I'm excited for you. I think you're going to be doing great. I'm a little jealous that my Spanish is not on point as much as yours, so that I could have it. Maybe I give you this one, but you know what? I know you're gonna do a great job. In the meantime, I'm gonna be building up. I'm gonna get me a Rosetta Stone Spanish edition so I could get my Spanish up. My Spanish is good. I have some defense, but I don't know if it's podcast interview worthy, like Ivan's. So I know you're gonna do a good job, man. I'm super excited to bring you on board, be part of the team. I know we're together in Leaders, and now we're collaborating on this, and I'm excited for what's to come for us. And thank you, for
sure, bro.
spearheading this. That being said, my brother, before we wrap things up, I want you to let all the listeners know where they can find you, where they can get, if you have any training that's going to be coming up soon, let them know.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on Instagram. It's very simple. It's Ivan.SMP. So IVAN.SMP. You guys can follow me on Instagram. There, sometimes I do post a lot of like tips and stuff like that. And I definitely want to be able to post a lot more knowledge, not only about SMP, because everybody's doing that SMP, like tips and reels, but I want to be able to help with my videos and my content as far as like maybe business or marketing or things like that. As far as trainings, we have trainings right now in a lot of places.
You're about to be traveling the world, man. Let them know where you going. Don't be bashful, brother. Let them know.
So internationally, we're going to be obviously in Tulum. We are going to be in Tulum April 28th, 29th, and 30th. And we are working with other amazing artists to have master classes there. There will be announced shortly. Then after that, we're going to head over to Dubai, May 11th and May 12th. It's going to be fundamentals training and advanced training. After that, we're going to Sao Paulo, Brazil, on June 11th and June 12th. Then we're going to be heading over to Poland, July 6th, July 7th, and then we're going to be heading over to Paris, France, July 11th and July 13th. And we're announcing more later on.
Yo, I want to be like you when I grow up, bro.
Bro, I want to be like you when I grow up. You got a lot more businesses going on, and when you
that's all right. Listen, we friends, we partners now. That's the beginning, brother. This is the beginning of a nice long journey, brother. We all gonna eat together. I appreciate you taking out some time, brother, to chop it up with me. I know you're a busy man. You just had a training class. You got some clients. You down in Texas doing your thing, brother.
We're going to LA tomorrow. We have another training over there. So
it's you. There you go. LA. One thing that I forgot to mention, and then maybe you could piggyback if you have something. The way he's going to be working with the Scalp Solutions Podcast Latino and how we're going to integrate it is it's still going to be published. We're still going to publish the podcast every Monday, but what we're going to be doing is every third Monday, we're going to put a Scalp Solutions Podcast Latino version. And don't worry, for all my English speaking people, we are going to have it converted into English some way or fashion. We are working on it. Trust me, we're doing the logistics. We're not going to leave you guys out, because the artists that Ivan has lined up for this roster, these guys are amazing artists. Some of you may know them, some of you may not, but they're going to bring so much knowledge to the this platform, and we're going to make sure that nobody gets left out.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy how everything it's coming together for me. Like I've been doing a lot of business and sales ever since I was 18. I've always been into technology, computer, etc. And obviously my wife being a now permanent makeup artist, and she was makeup before, like everything, like all my experiences coming together, right? When it came down to when I started doing this, in my head, I wanted to somehow help bring more awareness about this procedure, the scalp micropigmentation, for our Latino Hispanic community, not only in the US, but all over Latin America, and have, trainings, etc. But now just talking to you as you're explaining all of this is just like crazy to me, because I never thought about doing something like this. And if I wanted to bring more awareness, it's only one of me. I'm going to be interviewing amazing artists
from all over the world,
from all over. And then they're going to bring more awareness about the scalp micropigmentation.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. And this is why I always somehow find myself in the middle of a lot of projects. Then one way or another helps uplift the industry.
And overall, the main goal, and even when I sat down with you, was it's not about bringing attention to us, because that's why I was able to partner up with you, because you're not a selfish person. We understood the goal was to take scalp micropigmentation and make this thing a household name. When someone is talking about hair loss, we need them to know and understand that it's not just Rogaine and a gel and a derma roller and a hair transplant. We got to put scalp micropigmentation in the industry. And if we could help do that, we could spearhead it, then by all means, that's what we're going to do. Because at the end goal is, if they know about SMP, we all get to eat. It's not just me and you, it's all of us. And we all know there are hundreds of artists that are out there. I just had this conversation with Juan Collado. I was telling him, every Monday we get an email blast from our sponsors, Team Micro. They're putting out to almost 12,000 SMP artists from around the world. 12,000. And that sounds like a huge number, but yeah, it's still small compared to the amount of people that are on this, hundreds, millions, so it's all about the industry. We want to put it out there and make sure that we all get to, capitalize and do well in the industry. At the end of the day, whether it's the Scalp Solutions Podcast, the English version, or the Scalp Solutions Podcast Latino, we just trying to bring attention to the community and to the industry. And we hope it brings you guys value. And we appreciate whatever feedback you guys give to us, whether it's good or bad. We're ready for it. We know we're gonna have to make some adjustments. So if we could be a voice through you guys, you guys could be the voice, through us. We're ready. We're ready for it. We wanna accept the task. Cool. My brother, I appreciate you. I look forward to the amazing projects that you're gonna be working on. We have a lot of work to do, but in the meantime, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of the Scalp Solutions Podcast. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Ivan Alvarado.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, David. Thank you, everybody. It was my pleasure being here. I'm super excited for the Scalp Solutions Latino edition.
Woo, let's get it, Papo. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. To the next time. Peace.
Hi, I'm Damien. I run Team Micro. We're the world's leading design and marketing agency for the SMP and permanent makeup industries. We set up in 2009 as a one-person operation. We now have a team of 17 people. Within this team, we have the leading marketing experts for our industry, covering all aspects of digital marketing. And we only specialise in permanent makeup at SMP, so we really know the industry inside out. When we take on a new project, we understand exactly what makes your customers tick. So we're able to build products that exactly match your requirements and theirs. We don't want to just build a site, we want to build a website that performs, that converts visitors into inquiries as readily as humanly possible. You're not just getting a website, you're getting a marketing machine that does everything that you need it to do to maximize the number of customers coming through your business.
The reason why I joined Team Micro was because of how diverse the client base was. The team's skill set is so wide-ranging, so it's a great opportunity to learn from them, and it's been an amazing opportunity so far.
What I enjoy when working at Team Micro is you come in and the environment is just like perfect. Everyone's got a smile on their face, it's always positive. You never walk in, no one's in a bad mood or anything like that. For some reason you walk in and it's just, you immediately feel better coming into work.
The opportunities I found at being at Team Micro, being here 6 months now. Started off in sales, speaking to just American clients. Just started a new project this week that I've been given. It's completely mine, and it's dealing with a lot of customers. When I say a lot, I mean everyone around the world that's involved with scalp micropigmentation. So it's liaising with everyone within the company, everyone around the world. So it's a great opportunity, and I'm grateful that I've been given it within the short time period that I've been here.
What I love about working at Team Micro is the freedom of the company. It's a really relaxed company. Damien's full of ideas, so it's constantly expanding as well. We'll come in every week and with this sort of new venture in the pipeline. So yeah, it's just the expansion of the business. It's fresh.
I enjoy working at Team Micro because of the team that I work with. I work with a lot of talented people. On top of that, they're also very nice people as well. So it's nice to come into work and feel kind of relaxed and that you can chat with people as well as kind of get work done and make decent progress on the project.
The connection between both of the rooms, like the web design team and the sales team and everybody, because you're all talking all the time and it's really friendly with everyone, you start to obviously develop more skills like the more you talk to people. If I was talking to someone in the web design team, they'll just be like, oh, why don't you incorporate this as an idea? And you start to learn more and more things from different areas of the company. So your skill set is just consistently developing into like what can help the business grow.
The reason I chose to join Team Micro was because I liked the way the company ethos looked. When I came for the interview, I liked the sort of vibe that was in the office. I really got along well with Damien and with Dale. And to be fair, just conversations that I was having with everyone were just really nice. I wasn't nervous. I just was put to ease as soon as I walked through the door. I really kind of enjoyed my time here. I don't think that I'd kind of asked for anything else. It's like a home, second home. I'm looking forward to what my future holds here.
In the next 3 to 5 years, I'll probably see the business growing even more. In the space of probably the past 6 months, it's gone from just 4 of us to 14 of us now. So yeah, I think it'll continue to grow. Where the limit is that, I have no idea. That's the interesting part, I guess.